number one fan. I'm your number one fan. Gotta understand, I got a plan. Go for what you want, might be what you thought. You gotta take a chance. Gotta understand, I'm your number one fan. Number one fan.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition here in the KSN podcast. This is episode number 14. Wow, we keep it going here in the Kurt Social Network. I'm your host, Kurt the Magnificent, and tonight we have a great double guest coming on. This is family, and I'm gonna love this very, very much. It's gonna be really dear to me, and these two gentlemen that's gonna come on. Are uncles of mine, and we have Knicks fan, we have a Celtic fan, and man, I can't wait to get them on the clash with each other. And like I said, this is just great to have the family on, and it's gonna be nice. Let's give it up for my uncles. Let's give it up for my Uncle Henry from up in Worcester, Massachusetts, and let's give it up for my Uncle Jeff from down in Charlotte, North Carolina. Man, let's give it here, man. Yeah, what's up, Unks? What's good?
Good, Kurt.
Yeah, I'm here with you, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're doing big things, man, and I'm really proud of you.
I appreciate that, man. I love that shirt right there, Uncle
Yeah.
Jeff. Uncle Henry, I don't like that green.
No, I understand.
I had to represent.
I know.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, again, y'all representing your teams, and representing what y'all, who y'all root for. And but at the end of the day, this is family, this is love. And what I do on this podcast, man, I just try to bring people on, show them love, get a little story on them, man. It's not just for me, not just for y'all, it's for everybody, the community, to hear about this, what's going on here. And I want y'all to share. So I'm gonna throw it out to the oldest, which is Uncle Henry. Give me a story about, growing up playing basketball, and just give me that story from the beginning, real quick, real brief.
Okay. I probably started playing ball when I was probably in 5th or 6th grade. The organization called Luddale, and they had intramural stuff. I went out there.
And you're from Yonkers, right?
Yonkers. Yeah. I grew up in Yonkers.
Yes.
And played in that. Went to my junior high school. My junior high school was called Hawthorne Junior High School. At that school, we had several guys that went on to play professional or semi-pro ball. One of them was on the NCAA championship team with Marquette back in the mid 70s. And I played and starred for Saunders High School. I was a starter for 4 years, and I finally made my city all city team. So I played probably in just about every park there was in Yonkers. Then some in some parts of up in the Bronx, and over in Mount Vernon, played a little bit over there too. So I just want to get this straight. So they say I'm a Boston fan. I mean, I'm doing this Boston thing, right? But I'm a New York guard. I got trained in New York. My game is, anybody who sees me play will say, "Oh, he's from New York." I got it. So I've been up here since 1975. Came up here to go to school, and
Came back.
That's
Never came back. Yeah, you stayed up there,
So
never came back.
So now it's kind of like rooting for the home team.
Right.
I'm a fan, mostly of basketball in general. So I do still like the Knicks. I just happen to be a little bit closer to the Boston game right now.
Understandable. And Uncle Jeff, man, give me your quick, brief growing up with basketball.
Okay.
And where you from?
Originally
started. Go ahead.
I started playing ball at like around 8 or 9. Basically, the Knicks had just won a championship, and that's that the talk was, well, back there was the Knicks, the Mets, the Jets, they all won during that time. But I hadn't been watching sports at that time. So the next year, everybody's wearing like Walt Frazier T-shirts.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Wearing Pumas and everything like that. So I was like, okay, let me start playing ball. So I started playing basketball. And
Where were you at when you were
day,
playing? Where were you at?
PS 104, that was the elementary school that I went to, which was
What
right
city?
across the
What
street
city?
in the Bronx.
Okay.
Yeah. High Bridge.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And it had a schoolyard right in the back. So anytime we had an opportunity to play ball, we played ball. In fact, I used to play so much basketball, I used to get in trouble, like, for breaking curfew. You know what I mean? And, my game, it started to develop as we moved out of the city and moved to New Jersey. Now, when we moved to New Jersey, my game like blossomed, and I was like a star out in Jersey. You know what I mean? The first year I was out there playing in the league, they were all mediocre. We won a championship. I came middle of the season. We won a championship, got MVP.
Nice.
Mhm.
Then the next year we played again in the tournament, and we won that tournament. And then my freshman year in high school, we came runner up. We should have won the game. Dude hit a Hail Mary shot at the end of the game
Wow.
and beat us.
Mm.
Mhm.
But everybody that knows me from my high school knows me as from basketball. In fact, when we had like a high school dance, they played actually junior high school. You remember Cheech and Chong? You probably don't remember Cheech and Chong, Kurt.
No, not me. No.
I do. I know Cheech and
Yeah,
Chong.
Cheech and Chong. They had a song. You remember that song Love Jones back in the day?
Oh yeah.
They had a song called Basketball Jones.
Oh, Basketball
Yeah.
Jones. Yeah, I've heard that song. Yeah.
And they dedicated that song to me because they know how much I love basketball.
Yeah, I know that song. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What high school in Jersey? What was the name of the high school? Where was you at?
Marlboro High School. It was I was the only black dude on the team,
Okay.
and the coach hated my guts. Now in the early years, I had great coaches, like from 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, I had great coaches. They loved me. I was captain of the team. You know what I mean? They said the high school coach didn't like me because he said that I was trying to be too much of a flashy kind of ball player. I patterned my game after Earl Monroe. I had
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Black Jesus.
You know what I mean? I had a wet jumper too.
Nice.
I was money from the corner.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice. Good. I'm glad to get those brief little stories from y'all. This is great. Now we can get into the real stuff. We've been, the Celtics and Knicks, and that rivalry goes back, because they're one of the first teams that came to the NBA back in 1946.
Yeah.
And Knicks have gotten to a bunch of championships. They only won 2. Celtics, of course, they've gotten to a lot of them, and they've won, I think it's 18 now.
18.
Yeah. So, with that rivalry just going back with those two historical teams, and they've matched up with each other with playoffs a bunch of times. And now as we get into this season coming up, Celtics are the number 2 seed and the Knicks are number 3 seed. I want to get y'all your opinions on them, with the rivalry first, like going back. How do you feel about that, for Henry, that rivalry?
So first of all, I that first Knick team you're talking about, that's when that was the last time I really been a real fan of a team. Because I loved the Knicks. I loved the Knicks back then. I had number 10. I was wearing Frazier's number all the time. And then I had to graduate, and I think I went over to 15, which was Monroe.
Yeah.
So, so I love the Knicks. So back then, everybody who was in New York, they wanted to be first of all, they wanted to be Frazier.
Yep.
Some people wanted to be Dick Barnett. They had that little kick to their game, right? He has to pick up his knees and kick, leg and kick.
Yeah.
But everybody wanted to be Clyde. And then when Monroe got there, then everybody wanted to be Pearl. So that rivalry kind of started for me back then. And but when I came up here, I got up here in 75. I didn't much like the Celtics then either. That was with Dave Cowens. I didn't really like Dave Cowens, but the longer I stayed up here, some of the players that what they had. I didn't like JoJo White. I couldn't stand JoJo White. I thought he was a good player, but I didn't like him. So those guys were coming up. But then the Larry Bird era came in, and a couple of other players that came in along with him, and even players like Cedric Maxwell, who doesn't get his proper due. Get his proper due. And then along with Larry Bird came some other players like Tiny Archibald was playing with the Celtics. So that kind of helped me to kind of jump over and be a little bit more sympathetic to what the Celtics were doing. So then, of course, Larry and his crew, Mikhail, Dennis Johnson, they did their thing for a little while.
Yeah.
And the Knicks were sitting there not doing anything for me anymore. I was like, okay, I'm going to watch them, but what they doing? And they had some good teams. It's just that Larry and the boys were kind of taking care of business.
Definitely. They definitely were running the East, at that point. They were taking over with even putting in the Chief Robert Parrish in there and Danny Ainge later coming on. So, Uncle Jeff, man, what about you, man? Talk about that, that rivalry between the Knicks and the Celtics, what you remember, those great players from the 70s, 80s,
Okay. Well, when I became a Knicks fan, the Knicks were on top. Basically the Celtics were kind of like – the Celtics were still good because they had like Dave Cowens, John Havlicek, JoJo White, Don Chaney.
Yeah.
And they had some great teams. In fact, the year the Knicks won the championship, I think the Celtics were like 68-14. They were like, and the Knicks, I don't think they may have won 50 games maybe. And, John Havlicek was the star of the team and JoJo White and Dave Cowens were all part of the team. Now the Knicks, they they had Walt Frazier, Earl of Pearl Monroe became a Knick at that time, and that was the big rivalry. That's why I hated the Celtics because because the Celtics, they were tough. They were tough.
Yeah.
And Boston and New York, they just don't clash with each other too well.
Not at all. Yeah, not at all. No.
You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah.
But I loved it when we finally knocked them down and we won the championship again in '73.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, you think about, like you said, those classic teams back then. That was just a huge rivalry in the '70s. Even went on to the '80s when they played in the semifinals in 1984. Knicks had Bernard King.
Bernard King,
Yep. Bill Cartwright.
When they said they wouldn't score 40.
Right.
And I think he averaged 40 for the series.
Right.
And they almost beat him. Went to 7 games. Almost beat him. But, Larry Bird and the crew came on top.
Right. See, another thing that for me was I was up here when Patrick Ewing was in high school. He went to Cambridge High School up here right next to Boston. Right. So I went and I was watching him develop. And so that kind of helped me a little bit. But the one thing about him was they have a league. Well, they had a tournament called the Boston Shootout. And they used to bring teams from all over the country to Boston every summer. And Tiny brought a team up one time. And Patrick was the main guy on the Boston team. And New York spanked them. They spanked them good. They were dunking on Patrick like nothing. So when Patrick went back to New York, I was like, I don't know about all that.
but you know what, Patrick Ewing did turn out to be a Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer.
Yes, he did. He
and
did.
Probably the best, if not the best Knick, the second best Knick all time.
Yeah.
So talk about your teams, right? So I'm gonna start with Uncle Jeff. The Knicks this season, getting ready for the playoffs. Overall, the season, what did you think about them, and what do you think about them going forward in the playoffs?
Well, I think the Knicks got a very talented team. They're stacked. They're deep, and really, what it comes down to more than anything is like really mental toughness, mental fortitude. It looks like their heads are not in the game a lot of the times when they don't play well. But the talent is definitely there. And I think that they can go deep. In fact, I'm not really worried. Boston's good. They played well all year. Take your hat off to Boston. They played well. They got great coaching. But I think I'm not afraid of Boston.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not afraid of Boston. As a matter of fact, I'm not really afraid of anybody in the East. If the Knicks play their style of basketball, you know, OG is a key to it for me, because he not only does he play, you know, defense, he also can hit the jumper from 3-point range. He can also go to the hoop and get his buckets that way as well. So the only team that I really fear is in the West, to be quite honest, is Oklahoma City. They just don't seem to have an answer for them.
Right. And I agree with you on that. I think the Knicks, the way they built the team this year, and even though Boston, don't get me wrong, Boston wasn't even supposed to get to this point, but everything happened.
No.
Knicks are supposed to get to the finals. The Knicks are supposed to get to the finals. Like, if it ain't the finals this year, definitely going to be some changes is going to be happening in that front office and even probably the coaching staff. So now with the Celtics, Uncle Henry, you know, talk about them. They surprisingly, you know, with Jaylen Brown putting them on his back, you know, and then Jason Tatum coming back in the last maybe 15 or 12 games left of the season, you know, they have got the second seed, and it's just really amazing what they have done throughout the season with that group.
Yeah, you got to talk about the coach and put him in that category too.
Oh, that's a shout out to Joe Mazzulla. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, he's got them playing, and it's a whole different. It's kind of a concept, and they've been playing this concept, that Celtic pride thing, and something to be said about the people that came before you. They all buy into it. People like Peyton Pritchard, who they doubted, everybody like kind of doubted him, didn't think he was going to be that much. And he's come on. And even as a starter, he wasn't doing quite as good as a starter, but he's gone back to that 6-man role, and he blossoms in that. I think that, like Jeff, they weren't supposed to get there, so they're kind of playing on house money right now. They weren't supposed to get there, but now Tatum came back, and I don't know how cohesive they're going to be, but that definitely brings a 1-2 punch, with Tatum learning a little bit more while he was sitting on the bench, and Brown blossoming as he came through, with his NBA MVP type caliber season. But really the biggest thing is they got a lot of guys who got some moxie, who can play. And that showed up the other night when they beat Orlando with no starters.
Yes.
So I think that's one of the things that, you know, is going to be wear and tear. What players are going to play? Are they going to shorten the rotation? How are they going to do that? And the players that do get in, what kind of impact they're going to have? And same thing with the Knicks. I look at McBride and Clarkson, who was held back a little bit. How are those players? And then Hart. So the last game they played, it was Hart and Shireman, who were the two key shooters at the end of the game.
Yes.
So it's going to be a real chess match, and I think, again, like Jeff said, it's going to be mental toughness. And I think that's what got the Celtics last year, was the fierceness of Jalen Brunson, that his ability that he cannot be denied, was kind of what really got them over the hump. I'm not sure if Boston feels like that way about them now, but we'll see. We'll see what happens playoff basketball.
Definitely, yeah, we will see. I'm gonna ask you a quick prediction. If the Knicks and Celtics did get into the second round, all right, what is your prediction, and how many games would it be, Uncle Henry?
I think it's going to be a slugfest. I think it's going to be who can win at home, and and come out maybe like a 7-game series.
7-game series. You picking Celtics? I'm guessing.
I have to say Celtics, but I'm really not sold on it. I think that the Knicks have been together as a unit a little bit longer, and that I think that means a lot in terms of going down the stretch and bringing it home.
Uncle
And
Jeff.
I like Anunoby too. I like the way he plays. I think he's the Brunson's is like the man, but I think Anunoby's the real glue.
Uncle Jeff, your prediction quickly on
Yeah.
what it is. What you think? 7.
Yeah,
How many
great.
games they're going to win?
I think Knicks in 6.
Okay.
I feel like the Knicks can win one in Boston. They've proven that they can win there.
Yes.
This is it for them. They have to do it. I mean, they've gone to the Eastern Conference Finals. It's like a progression in the NBA. So they have the experience. They've been there. I mean, Boston's been there too. But this is the year the Knicks have got to put it together. Also, like Henry said, they're going to break their team up. But I think the Knicks can take one in Boston. So I think the Knicks in 6. It's going to be tough. But I think the Knicks can get them in 6.
Yeah. I mean, of course, I'm a diehard Knicks fan. I definitely say if they do get there, I think I would want to say Knicks in 6 as well, But Boston right now, they're a team that you got to really, really be on top of them. And you can't make too many mistakes if you're a Knicks. So I will say that, and they need to get to the finals. If they don't, it's a bust. And like I said, again, things will change. One last topic I want to get on with y'all. And I want to see what's your favorite all-time person. So, Uncle Jeff, well, no, let's do Uncle Henry first. Your all-time favorite Celtic.
Oh, my all-time favorite Celtic. So you have to throw all those ancient guys out the way because I wasn't around or even looking at them back then. So
Right.
Russell and Havlicek, and I wasn't really even paying attention to those guys. So I'm looking at like somebody like Kevin Garnett.
Okay.
He brought it.
He brought it back, and he brought it back to Celtic pride. Yes, he did.
Yeah, he brought it.
Nice.
So I have to put him out. I have to put him out there. I know there's some other people that may have accomplished a little bit more, but in terms of having the overall feel and fight, I mean, Larry Bird, he did his thing, but I think Kevin Garnett was, Larry had help, a lot of help, so I think I would go with Kevin Garnett.
Okay, cool. Uncle Jeff, your favorite all-time Knick, all-time. You're the favorite Knick.
All right. My favorite Knick of all time is Walt Frazier, Clyde Frazier, because Clyde just was like the epitome of everything that you wanted to be, as a kid growing up, in New York City. A young black dude at least anyway, He was cool. He had the clothes. He had the cars. He was cool on the court. He was the only player that I saw that I loved to watch him play defense more than maybe his offense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They used to have a saying in the paper. They say that one sports reporter, and Henry probably heard this before, said his hands were so quick that he could still hubcap off a moving car.
Oh, yeah. I heard that.
Yeah,
That must have been in the paper.
He never got a technical foul. He was always cool, always had his game face on. Like, not even a game face. He was just cool. Yeah. So Clyde. And then my second A1 is Earl of Pearl, who I had the pleasure of actually meeting.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
I sat and talked to him for about 15 minutes.
Yes.
And he signed a T-shirt for me. And I remember asking him, I said, "Do you still got the spin moves?" And he goes, "Yeah, go to EA Sports."
This was good, man. I wish we had more time. I want to bring y'all back again. Especially if it's the Knicks and Celtics when they do get in, I want to bring y'all back again. It's like, because we could really, really talk if it gets to that point. How do y'all like about that? Is that good?
I would love it. I'd love it.
Yeah, that most definitely. And so I know Kurt because I brought Kurt up for a game. So I know he doesn't like green. So now my mission is to get you up there to see what the green is like too, Jeff. Kurt,
I tell you, I went to a Knicks Celtic game back in 2008 when the Knicks were terrible, and that's when they had Garnett. That's the year they won it, right?
Yeah.
And they beat it. I had great seats. TD. What is it? TD.
TD Garden. Yeah.
TD Garden. I had great seats. I was like in the 5th row, right?
Yeah.
And everybody was Celtic fans around me, and the Celtics were crushed. They beat the Knicks by 50. The Knicks scored only 56 points for the whole game.
That green, man. I'll tell you, man. Like, if it was when we went, it was an Indiana and Celtics.
Indiana, yeah.
If it was the Knicks, I'd have felt a little better,
Yeah. But so Jeff, when the introductions came on, Kurt left the stadium. He went out into the hallway. He couldn't take it. He didn't come back till after
Yeah.
after the lineups were done.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
They were about to throw the ball up. That's when he came back in. I said,
Yeah, I
he said,
couldn't do it.
they gave a free. They gave out free T-shirts. So everybody who had a seat had a free T-shirt. He said, "You can take this. I ain't had none."
Yeah, you know you can't take that, Kurt.
Hey, come on, man.
You know you can't take that.
No, I can't take that. No. But look, we running out of time, and like I said, this was really fun. This is enjoyable. I love this, and I appreciate y'all for coming on. Thank y'all so much, guys. Thank y'all so much.
Appreciate you too, Kurt. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. We're gonna get out of here. If y'all want to stay on, you can stay on after the outro goes off, and then I will talk to y'all both, later on and give y'all more of what I want to share with y'all. Okay, but I thank you again. Thank you so much, guys. Uncle Jeff, Uncle Henry, thank you for coming on, and for everybody who's watched and who is listening to this, you've watched another great edition of the KSN podcast. I'm Kurt the Magnificent. Have a good night. Peace, love. You already know. Thank you.
Peace.
Number one fan.